Deterrence is nothing new to military thinking and has formed a large part of the rationale for standing armies since the time of Sparta. Deterrence came into its own with the advent of nuclear weapons and the nuclear age. During the Cold War, nuclear deterrence became synonymous with mutually assured destruction, or the concept that if the United States and the Soviet Union came to nuclear blows, both sides would be annihilated. Artificial intelligence's AI ability to outthink humans, and its clear-sighted, unsentimental approach to decision-making, marks the next iteration of deterrence. Although the jury is still out, AI possesses the potential to be more of a deterrent than nuclear weapons. Deterrence is characterized by the possession of a capability, or capabilities, which are maintained to intimidate potential adversaries from acting beyond one's self-interest. Additionally, deterrence is practiced to keep an actor from acting outside the bounds of international norms and laws. Deterrence is most useful when the deterrent capability is forceful enough to not be used, but still maintains an inhibiting effect. Nuclear weapons provide perhaps the best example of deterrence. The element of doubt is a key factor that must be considered regarding deterrence. A strategic actor, for instance, never truly knows with absolute certainty the other actor's red line for the use of their nuclear arsenal. Therefore, careful judgment is applied when engaging in strategic competition with nuclear-armed actors so as to not trigger nuclear reprisal. Removing humans from the equation, however, eliminates the element of fear and an actor's ability to blink, like the Soviets did during the Cuban Missile Crisis. For example, if an AI-enabled system were in place of Arkhipov on B-59, would the submarine have held off firing? The question is not simple and rests on many factors. Programming and fail-safes are the most important of these factors, but the answer likely boils down to one criterion: were the execution conditions met? If yes, then most computer programs would subsequently execute the command. If so, would society allow that? Most AI developers agree that there should always be a human in the loop for these decisions, and that AI must only aid in the decision-making process but not to do it without meaningful human involvement. Situational context is challenging for AI programming to account for. While an AI can process data much faster than a human, and so shorten the OODA, observe, orient, decide, act, cycle, humans in the loop can account for situational context missed by AI programming. In turn, this accountability can provide military commanders with a broad, more nuanced range of options than they might otherwise have. The issue then becomes one of speed versus context. Computer programs can process data more quickly than a human. To maintain the initiative on the battlefield, an actor must move faster through the OODA loop than their opponent. True on the battlefield level, this approach also has utility at the strategic level when viewed through the lens of decision superiority. AI is particularly pertinent in helping an actor gain an advantage through making more informed and accurate decisions than their enemy. If the situation on the ground is rapidly changing, a human is significantly challenged to make informed, timely decisions that support decision superiority regarding their adversary. This is even more important when the adversary is an AI-enabled combatant. To put it simply, there will come a time when having a human in the loop becomes a disadvantage. A force that hands over control to an AI will be able to move through the OODA loop far faster than one with a human in it. Moving quicker through OODA cycles will allow an actor to possess the initiative in any conflict and be able to maintain it throughout. Based on decision superiority, an actor might decide to take no action, but that remains an AI-informed decision. AI's ability to move quickly through an OODA cycle means that the decision can always be made on one's own terms, rather than those of the enemy. If two peer actors found themselves in conflict and both were AI-enabled, the one without the humans in the loop would operate quicker. This is because they would not have humans slowing operating processes and decision-making. For instance, if a human planning cycle takes 12 hours, how much quicker can an AI-enabled machine accomplish the task? Considering that a machine can complete millions of operations per second, compared to a much slower human process, an AI will be able to generate a plan in a fraction of the time. To this end, an AI without a human in the loop might provide such an asymmetric advantage that it will inevitably be adopted by all actors with the means to do so. Giving full control to an AI may be too controversial an idea for some people to stomach. However, it is worth remembering Winston Churchill's comment on nuclear weapons. In 1945, Churchill stated that, "This revelation of the secrets of nature long mercifully withheld from man should arouse the most solemn reflections in the mind and conscience of every human being capable of comprehension." Despite the doubts, and despite acknowledging that they were capable of wreaking measureless havoc upon the entire globe, Britain had its own nuclear weapon 7 years later. AI is the next arms race. All it will take is for one actor to demonstrate AI's asymmetric advantages for other strategic actors to rush for it as well. Churchill hoped that nuclear weapons could be used for peace despite their destructive potential, and this rationalization of destructive potential has not gone away. A human out of the loop, and AI's primacy in future armed conflict, is inevitable. Moreover, if AI with a human in the loop is a deterrent, how does autonomous AI become even more effective than its counterpart? The answer largely boils down to a human's ability to blink, and to succumb to better angels. A machine currently lacks the capability to utilize human empathy and so will dispassionately execute its program once the criteria has been met, and it will not blink doing so. While the benefit is speed, it loses the human element of situational context and judgment. The real fear of an AI without a human augmenting its control is that the AI will operate only on programming, rather than also considering context and emotion. Essentially, humanity will not be lucky enough to have a Vasily Arkhipov again. Nonetheless, AI without humans in the loop makes the most effective deterrence. AI is inevitable. The advantages that it offers are simply too great to stop development, but just as with nuclear weapons, those advantages also carry great risk. As such, the imperative to develop the capability increases so that it can be used as a deterrence rather than an advantage. AI represents a deus ex machina waiting in the wings ready to intervene, but those same advantages mean that we cannot risk provoking it.